Barry Raeburn from Mission Without Borders. Kia ora, thanks so much for your time today.
Kia ora, Andrew. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come and share.
This is, let's call it what it is. To have a peace talks about Ukraine without Ukraine being at the table is ridiculous. Having said that, though, it may be the best hope for peace that we've seen in 2.5 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's not an ideal situation not having all parties present, but I think the fact that Donald Trump is able to get President Putin to meet with him in Alaska to discuss peace. He is obviously endeavoring to be a peace broker. Whether or not he can make any headway is probably another story, but certainly, we take all the positives we can get in this environment where there's just ongoing war and conflict and damage being done.
Certainly some of the rhetoric we've seen out of the White House in the last wee while. previously there was that stunt in the White House Oval Office with Volodymyr Zelensky, where Trump seemed to be humiliating him before the media, and he's been seen in the past to be a bit of a Putin fan. Having said that, though, some of the rhetoric is that Trump is losing patience with Russia on this one. He wants to see a change. It's one thing to be a strong man on social media, but I suppose, how confident are we that there'll be tough talk in Alaska?
Yeah, look, I think he's trying to be tough with both sides in terms of trying to get them to the table, get them to make a deal, to get them to cut a deal, to find and broker peace. He needs to be commended for that, in my view.
Mm-hmm.
Any efforts to get people to the table to talk, and even getting them to the table is a huge achievement in a sense. I guess probably there are others who would say, well, it's not an achievement unless Zelensky's there, and a proper withdrawal of Russian troops is really the ideal situation, and them pulling out and an end to the war would be what's ideal. But who knows whether that's something that's possible.
Yeah.
It's a tricky situation for I'm sure President Trump to navigate and try and bring people to discussions to bring peace.
There have been negotiations previously with Ukraine and officials from Russia. No particular progress on that, and of course the big sticking point is the secession of territory that let's declare a ceasefire if Ukraine says, well, let's take a fifth of our land where some of our citizens are still living and give it to the Russians.
Yeah, look, it's one of those things where probably someone's going to have to find some compromise somewhere for this to come together and for peace to be achieved. And let's hope that they can become some sort of deal struck. I know that in the east of Ukraine, a lot of damage, a lot of destruction there, a lot of people's livelihoods crushed and destroyed, and so there's going to be whatever the outcome is, there's going to be a massive rebuilding effort there. Huge amounts of destruction. Yeah.
And hey, this is a multi-stage process. We're at perhaps this point on the ladder. A ceasefire would be the next step. Then perhaps a peace deal, probably involving some loss of territory for Ukraine. Zelensky is saying this is not negotiable, but there probably will need to be a compromise there. And of course, EU membership or NATO membership off the table. That's likely to be some of the other factors in the negotiations.
Absolutely. Look, I think all of these things will have to be, on the table for discussion, for negotiation. I think Trump prides himself as being a negotiator, and I think peace will be a long process. I don't think anyone's under any illusions that it's just going to happen overnight. Having said that, if it does happen, it would be just a wonderful thing to get this over the line and to get some sort of peace established in the region. People have been praying. Everybody's been praying for so long for peace, and we're just trusting the Lord, I guess, that somehow, some way, God can step into the midst of all of this, and a positive step can be taken.
And hey, it is perhaps a long road, and as you mentioned beforehand, even if peace were declared, the rebuilding, the restoration, the restoring of communities and infrastructure, that will be a long, slow process for the people of Ukraine.
Yeah, and potentially a tenuous sort of a dangerous sort of situation too, because you'll have, if there's a withdrawal of troops, whether or not that could change in a moment with people going in to try and bring help and aid. We have teams ready to go as soon as peace is declared, but
Yep.
obviously with that whole process, you have to make sure people are going into a place that's reasonably safe for them to be able to operate and bring help and bring alleviate suffering and what's going on there. So yeah, quite a journey ahead in terms of as it looks in terms of the future. I think that we're talking over a several years long process of, and it doesn't look like right now. I mean, he is hoping to be something, but it doesn't look like right now that it's a juggernaut situation with what's happening, and it doesn't look like there's any resolution. But yeah, if there is peace declared, Mission Without Borders has plans to get in there. We've got a team ready to go and to bring put our programs in place into those areas to try and help to become part of the rebuilding process.
And of course, Mission Without Borders, you've been involved in this part of the world for decades.
Yeah,
And yes, it will be a long-term process, but Mission Without Borders play a long-term game, really, with people on the ground and supporting people as they respond to the trauma of what has happened for the last few years. When you have the opportunity to move your teams safely into these areas, what sort of support will you be able to provide, Barry?
well, all of our team in Ukraine have PTSD trauma counselling ready to go for people that have been through so much. And I mean, it's just the mental and emotional toll that these sorts of things take on people will be a big part of our work as we head back in there. A rebuilding of our programs, family sponsorship programs, looking to support families in communities, children in communities, supporting the elderly who've been isolated and without care, and then restoring, even like in terms of the physical side of things, damaged buildings, damaged community spaces, looking to work with locals to get in there and restore and rebuild.
Yeah.
And that's our hope, that we have a rapid response team ready to go. It's just, we're sitting waiting for these talks over the weekend, hoping that something will shift and change. But when it does, we're there. And we have our team, 60 full-time staff, hundreds of volunteers, partner churches there on the ground that speak the language. They know the territory well. We have established networks of supply networks, trucking and so forth going into the areas, so distribution channels for aid and so forth. So we work with a lot of other NGOs in the area as well because of our networks. They rely on us to some degree to support them with bringing in aid and helping. So we'll be, I'm sure, partnering with a lot of other organizations that'll be wanting to come in and support that work of the rebuilding work.
Why don't you focus a little bit on the work that you do with summer camps? Now, coming to the end of a summer, of course, in the Northern Hemisphere, but I think this is just such a wonderful symbol of hope, particularly for young people that have gone through such a traumatic time. A good thing for people to pray about is that, hey, by next summer, by next year, the summer camps will be happening in a country which isn't at war with its neighbours. Talk to us about the summer camps and the sorts of hope that it brings, Barry.
Yeah, a year ago I was in Romania and attended one of the summer camps that we hold there, and of course we've been continuing to hold summer camps in the west of Ukraine even while the war's been ongoing.
Yeah.
But what it does is it gives children from challenging family situations where a lot of them are having to work because because of the poverty that they're in, gives them a week away of just fun activities, singing together, and then even learning life skills like brushing your teeth, making sure it's you're learning how to wash your hands, take care of yourself, and emotional support from all the coordinators there and people working there to provide support to them. And so, yeah, I think it's just an opportunity for kids to be kids, and especially in war-torn areas, that childhood can be really, almost robbed from children.
Yeah.
And summer camps are a special way to say, hey, I want to give you a gift, get you away from all the horrors, all that you've been through, get you away from the difficult circumstances you're in terms of your family life, and just give you a week of fun, a week of surrounded by love. A lot of these children and young people that attend these summer camps, have a wonderful response to the love of Jesus as
Yeah.
well, and the gospel's presented to them. So it's also an opportunity for surrounded by love. A lot of them haven't experienced those sorts of things before and never really had any opportunity to just have fun. So summer camps is a big program that we're really passionate about. And I think that in the Ukraine, when the peace comes and we're able to have those sorts of activities, that will be another feature of our work in terms of providing support for children.
A wonderful symbol of hope, really, to look forward to a time of peace, of children being able to play and learn and laugh together. Certainly something to, I suppose, a tangible thing that we can pray for and hope for the people of Ukraine as well. And hey, if people are watching the news, they're seeing what's happening with these peace talks at the moment, perhaps following what's happening in Ukraine with the war. A practical way of being involved with that, supporting the work of Mission Without Borders, supporting these summer camps. You guys are ready to go when the ceasefire is declared, but you need support of people like us, right?
Yeah, absolutely. On our website, missionwithoutborders.org.nz, you can visit that. We have a special area on our website dedicated to the Ukraine, and it offers there an opportunity for people, if you search it up, how you can get involved, to make a pledge towards our ongoing work. Currently, we're working to provide emergency response and relief, and then it will transition. So please keep us in mind with these peace talks this weekend. Keep them in your prayers. We are really hoping. I've spoke to a lot of our team on the ground, met with the director recently, really suffering there, finding it really hard. So yeah, please keep the region in your prayers for peace. Be wonderful.
Barry, thank you so much for what you and the team are doing, and encourage people to check out Mission Without Borders, the resources you've got there, the opportunities for support and prayer. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it. Okay.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.